They
There's
said
a lot of
it
mistakes.
doesn't increase. No.
Wait, it doesn't increase?
No.
No.
Oh god, I was torturing my PC all day for nothing then.
Wait. Did you also mute the streams?
Oh yeah, muted the streams, did all
No.
that. Sweet.
No.
Oh god.
That's also a no.
Oh
You
jeez.
can't mute the streams. It doesn't count you as a viewer. You can mute the site, but
Yeah,
you
you-
can't mute the streams.
Oh.
That's unlucky.
Wow, I wish someone told me that.
All right.
We're live.
We are live. We're on the scene and everything.
We are live.
Finally
Alright.
back after a month-long hiatus.
Hello, everyone. It's the BuffCast. Except we're missing some people, and we have a new people.
New people indeed. I'm usually behind the scenes, behind the camera, however you want to say it.
Yes, this is Robert, our favorite person in the world.
Yes, the graphic designer, and I just do things. Anyways, not too good at these intros. You guys can do your usual spiel.
Oh,
All right,
I'm Carson.
Yep, that's Carson. I'm General Dumplin, and welcome to BuffCast number 3.
Sort of mini episode. This
Yeah,
is
it's
definitely new for us doing it.
2.5,
Over-
3, yeah.
Yeah,
rounds up.
about the same thing. Okay, so I guess, well, we're obviously at home, so campus is closed, so
Yes, campus
Which means-
has completely closed now. All classes are on remote online now. Most of you know. They've canceled campus events till July 26th or 31st, was it?
Yeah, it's somewhere out there. It's like past the Maymester for sure.
Yeah, now the Maymester, which I'm taking, I'm kind of bummed out about. The Maymester is now remote learning as well. I'm not looking forward to that, I'll be honest now. And then we don't know what will happen for the fall. Coronavirus has really screwed up anything possible.
Yeah, I know. It's you just hear too many things, and I'm at home and doing Zoom classes and keeping up to date with Canvas, and I'm just kind of letting it all blow over. Staying inside, whatnot.
all I've
Yeah.
been doing is classes in Minecraft at this point.
Yeah, that's true. It's
I'm
funny.
going to be playing...
Sorry about that. Yeah, it's funny. Like, I have all these friends that aren't even like huge gamers, and they're like, "Hey, like, we started a Minecraft realm. Like, do you want to play Minecraft with us?" And I'm like, "I absolutely would play Minecraft with you. You guys don't understand how many hours I spend in Discord."
So many of my friends are now just, they're all online now. Like, hey, let's do 10-man Valorant. I'm like, all right, yeah, sure.
Definitely.
So it's nice to see all my friends finally being able to get on. That's cool. But now I'm stuck doing a ton of homework here. Oh well.
Yeah. It's
Well,
different.
besides coronavirus that we like to talk about pretty much every single session.
Yeah, I feel like somehow that's managed since the beginning of this podcast, I guess, and it started at this like little thing that we're like, I don't know what's gonna happen. Maybe that CS major will get canceled in Denver, or that minor.
We were talking about Katowice, I think, with their in-person events being canceled. I mean, the players are still there, but like, God, I hope Denver doesn't get canceled, and then it got canceled.
Then
know.
everything just skyrocketed into new problems.
And now I'm in my little
Well-
brother's bedroom making a podcast, so things change quickly.
I'm in a closet right now. It's kind of nice.
I'm still in Colorado. New York kind of shut down before I can go home.
Wow. Yeah,
That's
I would definitely probably prefer Colorado over New York.
Oh, totally, man. I've been talking to my parents, and they're just like, yeah, I've been inside every day. Whereas here we have like the leisure. Sometimes I go on a bike ride with my roommates. That's at least that. There's that.
Yeah, that's
But
good.
they're pretty enforcing back home in New York with the stay-at-home thing.
I mean,
Well,
they're the
besides,
epicenter right now.
Coronavirus, some great news. We talked about in the past, but Project A, or Valorant, has now done a closed, I guess it's a closed beta. They had the drops enabled on stream, on multiple Twitch streams, and now people can play Valorant. And a lot of people are liking it a lot, actually. I mean, I personally love it.
I haven't been able to get it yet. I've been really unlucky. Supposedly now, well, the only thing that confirms now is that anyone that's playing Valorant has drops enabled by default now.
Yeah.
But also supposedly if you watch more than 2 hours worth of Valorant streams, after that you can watch any stream and there's a random chance you'll just get a drop regardless.
Yeah,
Oh, really?
that's
So
true. I think
I've-
that happened to Liam this morning. He turned on his
Yeah.
computer and he had it.
I've just been really unlucky with getting the drops, so I can't really try out for the Valorant team if I don't even have the game. I don't even have the time, but I don't even have the game.
I know
I got
my
a
peak has come and gone in CS, my CS days.
I peaked at Gold Nova too.
I was watching Summit. And I came back from grocery shopping and I had a little notification bell and I was so excited.
Yeah, this would happen to me too. I was sitting there all day. I had Summit on my main PC. I had like some XQC on my laptop, and I'm like, I can't take this anymore. I'm gonna go like just do stuff for 2 hours, and I come back, and that's when I get the notification. Like 2 hours ago, I had gotten it. But
Yeah.
I've been
once you get in-
I've been running so many tabs. I think I like maxed out my CPU and memory just running Valorant streams last week.
The thing is, though, that doesn't really.
yeah, I hate to break it to you. I think they
A lot
said
of
it
mistakes
doesn't
too.
increase. No,
Wait, it doesn't increase?
no.
No.
Oh god, I was torturing my PC all day for nothing then.
Wait. Did you also mute the streams?
Oh yeah, muted the streams, did all
No.
that. Sweet.
No.
Oh god.
That's also a no.
Oh
You
jeez.
can't mute the streams. It doesn't count you as a viewer. You can mute the site, but
Yeah,
you
you-
can't mute the streams.
Oh.
That's
Wow,
unlucky.
I wish someone told me that.
I've been reading the
Carson.
CU Esports channel because they always talk about it. They were talking about it a lot, and I fixed my mistake from that too. But yeah, no, you can't have the stream muted. Doesn't count you as a viewer. You can't having multiple streams up doesn't affect you. Doesn't matter who it is. Just you got to be lucky,
Mm-hmm.
basically. But this whole the way they're going about this for this beta is honestly genius because it's a win-win situation for both the company and for the streamers. Like the company is getting tons of just free advertisement from all these popular Twitch streamers like Summit, Dr. Disrespect. Well, I don't think he's playing anymore actually. Pokimane, and tons of other people. They're all showing everyone Valorant and getting the keys too. So it's just constantly. I don't know. It's just it's such a genius idea. It's probably going to be used in the future. I feel like.
Yeah,
What
I
do you
mean, Doctor is a story of his own, but just in general, I think how many concurrents were they hitting? Like, what was it, like 1.7 million or something?
I think it
Summit hit 270K viewers at one point.
That's insane.
That's-
And I
yeah.
think they said that not a single streamer was paid. I'm just trying to fit
no,
chat in.
no one was paid.
Nope.
Yeah, and I mean, like,
Like,
to think,
no.
I don't know if I told this story previously, but if you look at something like Apex, what I was told from, I think it was like Nadeshot or Summit was telling the story, they invited, like EA invited a bunch of streamers and content creators to play Apex on like a Friday afternoon, and they said like, okay, how do you guys like the game? Like, you think this is a different battle royale? And they're like, yeah, I could see it doing pretty well. And they're like, okay, it's coming out Monday morning, and you're all gonna be sponsored streams. Like, I remember that Apex week. It was like, where did this come from?
That's funny.
It's
The problem was that the hype died off really quick because after that, most of the big streamers weren't playing the game after a few weeks. I mean, you had people that were dedicated and became pros and all that, but
Yeah.
Shroud and all of those quote unquote top streamers moved on to whatever else was going on at the time.
yeah.
And it seems like Valorant is that game at the moment, but we'll see if it maintains that momentum throughout its release. I mean, we don't really know when it's going to be released, honestly. I mean, they said, what'd they say?
It's just
Summer
a vague
2020.
summer, yeah.
Yeah, summer's most likely going to be the case. I mean, I find it funny how there's already being like tournaments announced and the game's not even out. It's just a closed beta.
Yeah, it's crazy. Like even just organizations, 100 Thieves, I think they just hosted like a $50,000 charity tournament or something like that.
Shroud had a team and he won that.
Yeah, I think he
recently,
did
but-
win that. Yeah, they're
Oh, yeah,
just doing
wasn't it
so
like
many
Shroud
things.
and versus the devs or something?
That was another thing. That's a really interesting thing that I guess I was reading like Thorin's tweet, and when CS:GO came out, I think they had CS devs versus like Source pros, and the Source pros like dominated. But in Valorant, the devs just absolutely destroyed some of these pros, and I think that's
Yeah, I
so
heard
funny.
that.
They've been working on it for supposedly at least 5 years now.
Jeez.
So it's been
Really, yeah.
I would
There's
hope
still
they.
some, there are still some bugs. Did you guys see that video? I think it was Disguised Toast, where there's one agent, whatever, I haven't really played yet, but he has like a camera, and someone was able to give the camera a gun. So you can have this camera sitting in the corner and shooting at people.
I think there was a bug with the agent Cypher. I think they put out a hot
ability is
patch
to
for
throw a
it.
camera, but It only shoots now like a tracking dart.
Mm-hmm.
It has a cooldown.
Yeah.
There's a lot of things, obviously, that need to be fixed in the game. Like, for example, let's see, Raze. She's ridiculous at the moment.
She's just a pure damage character. Every single thing is just such output.
She has so many grenades, dude.
Mm-hmm.
It's. I'll go into that another time, but Raze definitely has to get nerfed. There's some other people that need to get buffed a little bit too, I feel like.
Mm-hmm. I just want to acknowledge we have some people tuning in chat. We have Sunflower who wants to know what's on your head, and then we have a host that should be here, Sandy Pickles, saying we're so cute, and Victory Cakes for the support. So thanks for that.
Thank you. What is this? What am I wearing? Well, you see, it's pretty simple. I am wearing a carbon steel brass helmet with Naruto Village Leaf headband. Hidden Leaf Village. There you go.
Nice. Yeah. I don't know. So how do you guys, from what you have played or seen with Valorant, just to kind of, I guess, close out that with a general opinion, we were told it's like this combination of Overwatch and CSGO and R6. Where do you feel it lays in like the competitive scene? Because I've seen some people say like it'll never be a CSGO. It's like it's too casual. And that's an interesting thing for me.
Do you want to start with this, or do you want me to start with this?
Well, I don't think it's gonna kill CS, because remember when Overwatch came out and everyone was losing their minds over Overwatch being the second coming of esports and how it was gonna kill off everything, and now we're looking at it with hindsight and Overwatch League Season 2 kind of being meh. I feel like CSGO and Counter-Strike in general has been around for, what is it, almost 20 years now?
Yeah.
So it's also free to play now. I think they hit their peak of 1.2 million players. It's still gonna be CS:GO. Like nothing's gonna take away from that at that point. It'll always have its fan base. It'll always have viewership. Like at this point, it's too big. Unless Valve implodes on itself, it's at this point too big to fail. Like it might lose some players and viewers to Valorant, but I feel like CS is CS, and nothing can really take away from that.
Yeah, I mean, I think I'm biased in defending it because like that was my game. That's the 1,400 hours I put on when I got my PC, and like, but I think something with CS:GO is that people always understand like it has such a dedicated fan base. You can call CS a dead game, which I mean it's clearly not. It's still having like these peaks. I mean, people can get angry and say like, oh, that's like an old FPS. Like everyone's playing Valorant, but it will still have those like 40,000, 50,000, if not more, people online and just dedicated. The only thing there will always be the players playing. I think one argument that people are making, I think Summit was saying this a lot, is that something that killed CS is if you go onto the Twitch category, a lot of times the top streams for CS will be just 20s every single day. Like it's no creators, it's just every single day. It's like another match. And
are they every single day?
Maybe not every single day, but I think ESL is at the top, and they'll be running like reruns, and it's like just always these online brackets, and like I don't know. I guess
I know ESL and Flashpoint right now we're kind of going at the same time. There's also a bunch of smaller, like international. Like there's a lot of Portuguese like international streams, probably for Brazil and whatnot.
Mm-hmm.
But I feel like I'm part of the problem because I only really watch CS when there's tournaments going on. Like I haven't played in years, but I still like watching CS.
Yeah,
it's kind of weird.
Yeah, that's something. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say about how I feel about Valorant. Like Valorant it's a really good. People are like all saying like, oh, it's just Overwatch, and it's like, oh, it's just CS:GO, and yeah, it's like a perfect blend of the two because instead of utilities, you have abilities, right? Mm-hmm. And those abilities bring so many new things to the table that CS:GO can't offer because obviously CS:GO is a more realistic shooter. But with these abilities, you can have all these cool strategies. Like I play Viper in Valorant, and she's so much fun because you can constantly just do like AoE attacks that just contest areas so that they can't get onto site, and it makes it really difficult for the enemy team. So it's definitely different in the sense that a lot of counters have to come from abilities, not just gunplay. So I don't know. I just feel like that CS:GO is obviously going to stay because that's such a staple game. When I think FPS, like a core FPS, I think I'll be like a core computer game FPS. I think, CS:GO. But there is definitely a lot of things that Valorant has that are exactly like CS:GO, like the way you aim, the gunplay, obviously.
Supposedly, people say it feels a little bit like 1.6. I never played 1.6, but
yeah, that's what I heard as well. It's both like taking the damage and like being slowed, and just the recoil control of the weapons. It's very reminiscent. But I think it's just
I personally hate that when you get shot, you slow down. I hate that feature with a passion.
Yeah.
But I know it's in the game.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think it's one of those things where like CS is just such an easy game to understand. Like that took a really like mainstream esports point at some point in terms of like communicating it to people outside of the industry. Like it's 5-on-5, enemy versus CT versus terrorist. Like it's really like I still look at League games. Like I'm not a League player, and I still look at League, and I don't understand what's going on.
Like I was watching before College LOL got suspended indefinitely this season. I was watching all their streams. No idea what's going on. No idea. I mean, I know you got your lanes and you got your minions, and you have to get to the other team's base or whatever it's called. Like it's fun to watch. I just have no idea what's going on. It's kind of a little bit insane. Supposedly ESPN was showing, I think, the League European Championship Series, whatever it's called, and they were supposedly the commentary was a little bit dumbed down. Apparently.
Yeah, I've seen it called like 5-on-5 capture the flag, or like 5-on-5 tower defense.
There was some college that was tweeting about their league team, and for some reason it wasn't like, like best of 3 games, 2-1. They were like, we lost the game to this school, and they were like referencing the amount of kills and deaths. Like we lost 17-30. I didn't really know. League it's like team deathmatch.
Yeah, but I think, God, it's just so hard not to have this coronavirus as a shadow over every topic. But I just getting at the point that like, CS is an easy thing to watch, but there's so many other things coming out of this time inside as well in terms of esports just hitting that mainstream, like the iRacing stuff as well.
Yeah. I love seeing all those things. I've been seeing it on Instagram all over the place, like people like joking about it, but that's so cool. I honestly just think it's the next step, because like people are gonna take the iRacing and be like, this is actually pretty cool to watch, and then they're gonna continue to do it. Yeah. With obviously probably like other people, but
it's great.
It's cool because like as people were like, I've been seeing memes everywhere like, all sports are canceled except esports. And then you got all these new things coming out. I'm just very excited to see how esports comes out of this, because I definitely think it's golden opportunity with all the things that are happening for it to be. I mean, it was always like mainstream, but now it's gonna be taken in a different light, I feel like.
Yeah, and of course there's different levels to it. Like I think with the iRacing, like they're using these simulators and like the racing chairs, the wheels, like the traction control on it. Like it's very realistic. Besides the movement of the car and like the risk to it, but like it's very high quality and up there. Obviously there's other things like, what was it? I think they were playing soccer players were playing FIFA, or like there was like basketball players playing 2K on Fox or something, and that's obviously that's kind of fun. Like that's fun to watch. I enjoy that. I think that is funny, the idea of you're playing yourself in the game, but just getting it out there.
ESPN had this whole, I don't know if it was last week, but in the past few days, ESPN had this whole 12-hour block where they had NBA 2K, Madden, FIFA, Rocket League. Maybe there was Apex Legends, but it was more
Rocket League. That's so cool.
I mean, games that are most closely in, I guess, appearance to a typical viewer to traditional sports. I mean, you got basketball, football, soccer, and soccer with little rocket cars. So
yeah, I would have loved to have been in the room for that discussion. Like, okay, we're gonna put this game on. It's Rocket League. All the kids are loving it. It's cars, soccer. Like, what not to love?
Yeah. No, like recently my mom was texting me that my dad just watched a Esports documentary on TV, and then he was starting to get curious about it. My dad reached out to me and he was like, "Oh, it's so cool seeing how big Esports is, and like they're in these massive venues." Like, yes,
it's been like that for 10 years.
My dad are getting into Esports, and if people like my dad can get into Esports, anyone can get into Esports. mean, he plays
Is
video
E-League
games.
still
So,
around? Is
What's
E-League
up?
still around? Because I remember watching a few CS:GO games on E-League on TV with my dad.
God, I don't know. I haven't kept up with them since that was like
They kind of
2016,
faded.
17, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just
I
remember
haven't
them
watched
having
it
such a
in years,
like,
so.
yeah. And one thing I find so interesting is like advertising in like normal sports media is like, okay, like that's the ad break. But like seeing advertising in esports for me is like when you see like they had like an Arby's commercial for CS:GO and like the burger was like beeping like the CS bomb or something is ridiculous. But just to see like major brands like interested or invested in it, it's just so cool to me.
Actually, speaking of the army, yeah, I recently they've been streaming a lot. Like they have a Twitch channel where they have a this guy I forget his name is like Staff Sergeant something, and he's just Twitch streaming Fortnite.
Hmm.
He's just
Oh, yeah.
constantly Twitch streaming Fortnite, and they've got like all the widgets that you'd see a streamer have, and it says like Army Proud, and I'm like, what year is this?
Yeah, I know.
The
it's
Army's been doing that
crazy.
for a while. I think they've got over 10,000 followers on Twitter and a
Really?
buttload of followers on Twitch. They're one, because I know the Air Force is trying something.
Yes.
Because I know they have an Air Force team at the Air Force College, that's in Colorado, and
That's
then
the Air Force Academy, yeah.
yeah, and then the Army's been doing stuff for a while. They've always been going to PAX. They've been fairly active.
Yeah, usually the
Um,
Army is always going to any event. Like I always see them. Yeah, as Mikey G said in the chat, they were at Press Start, for example. But I've always
They
seen
paid
them
for
at
all of
like
our
E3.
yeah. They paid for all of our pizza at Press Start.
It's amazing.
I think it was like $600 worth of pizza.
I definitely
Thank
remember
you,
the
Mark.
jokes as a kid, like, oh, like I'm gonna play Call of Duty and I'm gonna join the army, and now it's like, obviously not that directly connected, but
Well, the Navy
That
started.
statement could be interpreted in the right sense.
Well,
Yeah.
the Navy started. They started their own. I was told that these esports programs for the military are kind of I don't know what it's technically called, but sort of recruitment and morale. Of course,
Mhm.
like to show off, hey, you can do more than just
Be a
whatever
soldier.
whatever they make you do in the army, but it's also more of recruiting and morale and whatnot. But the Navy was actually one of the biggest sponsors, actually the biggest sponsor of DreamHack Anaheim this past February.
Really?
really,
And they were there, and they had a huge booth, and it was like 1v1 a sailor, so it was kind of cool.
That's pretty
They had COD and CS:GO. They had a bunch of like top ranking. I think there might have been a general or two there, and they were just walking around taking pictures, and they're holding up these like Navy esports jerseys. Of course, they didn't show up for the rest of the convention or the weekend, but there was just a bunch of top brass Navy guys holding esports jerseys at DreamHack, just taking pictures.
Now, what I want to see, is I want to see other countries incorporate this same method into their militaries, and then we have a massive esport military tournament against other countries.
are you describing an esports war?
We don't even need war. Just if you want this land, okay, play us in
Best of five
CS.
CS. Oh my
1v1
goodness,
Yeah.
you and Rust for it.
these are 2050 ideas right here. Yeah,
The one downside that the Navy
got that big brain in
had
his
no
helmet.
social media
who was
for
that?
the event. The Navy. So like the Army has their own social media, like Twitch, Instagram, Twitter, everything. But I asked the Navy people, like, oh, do you guys have any Twitter, Twitch? And they're like, oh, no, we don't have that yet.
Just
But we're
follow
gonna be
at
do-
Navy, like.
Yeah, well, I think I took a picture of John taking a picture of the Navy to show off like what our students were doing at DreamHack, and then like America's Navy, the official Navy Twitter account, liked our tweet, which is really weird. But they didn't have a Twitch page at all. So I'm thinking you're spending all this money to sponsor a major convention, and you don't have any social platforms
And
for
you
people
don't
to
have a
go to.
handle.
Yeah, it
it's
was
strange.
like
That's
Okay.
probably going to be the first thing they got to do. I mean, it's almost absolutely necessary for if you're a company or some kind of organization, it's almost actually necessary to have some sort of handle, linking to an Instagram, a Twitter, a Facebook, or, whatever it is. It's almost like necessary nowadays to have that. So
It was-
definitely for the Navy, make a handle.
Yeah,
it was almost hard to believe. Like So you're here, you're dropping all this money. You don't have anywhere for people to go support you and to help you guys grow. Okay, whatever.
And I mean, like, the army,
Whatever
whether it's
floats
the
your boat.
army or the navy, like, I think there was what was it, the 2v2 mode in the Modern Warfare, they had the navy there, or the army there, and they had,
Oh,
like,
really?
this gaming semi-truck with, like, 8 PC streaming setups. Like, they
Was that
obviously
at
have,
PAX?
I don't know if it was at PAX, or I think it was just a separate Modern Warfare event for their, I think it was their, like, was it Code Red, or their, they have a veteran charity that COD does. But anyways, like, to think they have this gaming truck, they have these streaming setups, they're sponsoring this tournament, and you couldn't at least, like, I don't know, hire, like, an external contractor to run your social media or something? But,
It's
I
probably
mean,
in their plan for the future, I would imagine.
I would hope so.
I hope so too. All
It
right.
was funny because I was talking with one of the Navy guys, and I was mentioning how the Army's been, because I know the Idaho National Guard is one of Boise State's biggest sponsors, and I was talking about how the Army sponsored a few of our events and whatnot. And I asked him why he was doing this. Like, oh, we're just trying to get the word out about the Navy. No, I'm like, in my head, I'm like, no, you're here for recruitment, and also, who has never heard of the Navy?
Yeah. I mean, I think it's that mindset that, like,
Yeah.
like, they're here, like, I support them, like,
This is in the
they're
Navy.
just showing
It's like,
up.
yeah, it's like thinking like, oh, the Navy does this too, instead of just what we think the military does. It opens a lot of opportunities for people that think that want to go down that path. Well, I think we talked about the Army and Navy enough.
Yeah.
Moving on, let's talk about some of the games that are coming out now, like that are out actually.
What have we
Like
got?
out during quarantine, like Doom, and what everyone loves, Animal Crossing.
You say everyone, but all I know is this fishing simulator is taking over my Twitter feed, and I don't understand the hype. That's
Listen, man,
if that's not a hot
you just
take.
gotta. It's beautiful in every way. All right, it is. I've never been into Animal Crossing before. I've always thought that's lame. I don't want to be a part of that. But then I bought it. All right, and now it's the most relaxing game I've ever played in my life. It's just so. Hey, yeah, you're going fishing, and then you're building a town on a deserted island. You chop trees, and you talk to your neighbors.
Oh, don't get me wrong. I've heard nothing bad except this. Like, again, this is just abstract Twitter memes at this point. But, like, you just owing money to this guy named Tim Nook, who's, like, maybe a raccoon or maybe this supervillain. Like, nobody knows. I'm probably
Tom
butchering that, but Tom Nook. Did I say Tim
Hey,
Nook?
he has no
You said
interest
Tim.
rates on his loans, man. He gives you the loan and tells you pay it when you can. All right, that is a perfect.
Yeah, I'm not too invested in it, but I guess Dr. Lupo has this whole storyline about him being this supervillain. So he plays it on his After Dark streams, and he has this completely alternate storyline. Like, I guess, like, when you buy your house and he builds a house for you, is this true at all or anything like that? Something like that? Like, you start on your island?
Oh yeah, like when you get your home on your island, he tells you like, hey, so that's gonna be some money, and then you're like, what's money? And then he's like, aha, that's really funny. So this is how much you owe me. Um, yeah, it's just kind of like he tells you a loan payment and then like says pay it back if you want to continue playing the game in the future.
Yeah. I think it's like the idea that, like, he introduces, he's like, I'll build you a house. Like, you got this dock if you want to go other places. It's fine. Pay me back when you want. Then you go to other islands, and the dock's already there. So, like, he's got this big brain play. But we won't dive into Animal Crossing for 14 hours. I've seen enough of it on Twitter. What else do we have? We have
Well,
Doom
there's
Doom was a pretty big release recently, right?
Oh,
I've
Doom.
seen it. I really want to play it.
It is.
Yeah,
It's so much fun. It's so much better. They took everything that everyone loved about the 2016 Doom, and then just made it better. Right? They improved the character designs. They improved the gunplay. They added new features to the gunplay, like they added like those monkey bars things and like the walls that you can climb.
Mm-hmm.
So cool. Like I personally hate jumping puzzles, but I don't mind because it allows me to like fluidly go around the map and do like a ballerina dance of death on every single demon I encounter, you know?
Yeah. It's one of those games that was made, like, in close cooperation with, like, NVIDIA, I think, right? Like, doesn't it have, like, the RTX support and stuff like that? From what I've seen, like, you can crank that game up and it just looks really, really gory, but really beautiful.
Crank it.
Yeah.
But also, like, you can still run the game at, you know, a downer graphics card. Like, I've got a 1060, right?
Mm-hmm.
And my game's running pretty solid. Like, I'm not running the highest end graphics, but I'm running decent amount, and I'm still getting like 70, 80 FPS.
Yeah.
You know, so it's nice to see that it's not breaking my PC. You know, it's not turning my PC into a jet engine.
Yeah, I think that's a powerful move NVIDIA's been making these like what sub $300, $400 graphic cards, these like console killers in a sense, where you're playing these full AAA PC titles on these, you know, mid-range cards. It's so great.
It really is.
Yeah.
And then like there's also the I'm seeing a lot of companies now pair with the NVIDIA GeForce experience.
Yeah, the like remote streaming stuff.
Have you guys tried that at all?
So, like with PC, that if like your PC can't, they're not putting so much into the game, and then there's the GeForce video driver update that it almost like helps your PC kind of like handle it. I feel like in a way, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
like
I think what Carson was saying, like, what is that called, Carson? GeForce Now or something? They're like,
I don't know. I've got a GeForce card. I really have never used that.
Yeah, I feel like we wouldn't need it as PC gamers or however you would say it, but there's like that remote version where you're playing off of like servers essentially. Like you can play like AAA titles on a MacBook. Like it works.
Really?
It works pretty good.
Then there's Stadia, which is so bad.
Scuffed version of that, yeah.
Well, I mean, they're giving it away for free for 2 months from like select games, I think.
Yeah, I finally got that email. I think it's inescapable at this point. Like they're trying to get everyone like, please try this. Like,
dude, the Stadia was an absolute failure of. I don't even call it a console, just a mindset. It was terrible. Like the controller didn't work. The input lag from the controller to the device was ridiculous. Like I remember seeing a whole video on YouTube about it, and this guy was like playing Destiny 2, and he was like he was spamming the jump button, and he was spamming it so fast, and then the character in the actual game was just like jumping like every other one.
Yeah,
it's just really funny.
I think that's like a phase that came and gone, because if we think about it, we had the Steam Link. That was essentially the same thing, right? And then
that was a lot more successful.
But that was like an in-home version.
I actually got the Steam Link because I remember it was on Steam for 99 cents at some point.
I do remember that. Those
were crazy. They also had a huge clearance on the Steam controllers, which I sadly wasn't able to do, but I bought the Steam Link for 99 cents. And I got it, and I used it once because I paid 99 cents for it, and then I never touched it.
Yeah. I think there's I don't know. It's just I'm so set up here.
It was really easy to set up, but the problem was if I had you know my PC in another room, I'd have to walk all the way upstairs, turn on my PC, go into Steam, say yes I want to stream it, then go all the way back downstairs, and then turn on the Steam Link.
Yeah, that's a bit of a nuisance. But the Steam Link was a lot better than the Stadia because it didn't store everything on a cloud. You know, it had it on your local PC.
I think NVIDIA had one as well. They also had a little like console.
Shield.
Then there's the Shield, but the Shield actually like you could have played. It was based off of I think Android. Its operating system was, so you could play some games locally. It did have I think like a Half-Life 2 port or something along those lines.
Well, the Shield also has other uses too. Like for example, my roommate has it here, and sometimes I'll be using it actually. Like if I'm watching anime on my phone, I can like link my phone to the NVIDIA Shield, and then it'll put it up on my TV. So it's actually pretty neat and actually pretty useful compared to the Stadia.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
I just feel like the Stadia was just. Did you have to buy the games, or were some games included?
I think that was another thing too. Like I think you had to pay for the subscription and the games. Well,
because I saw the emails about 2 months free. I'm like, oh well, I don't want to buy Doom for $60 right now, but I deal with the input lag and maybe stream it off of Stadia because I've got a decent internet connection. But then I saw that they had 3 included games, and one of them was Destiny 2. And it's like even when they make it free-ish, I don't even want to touch it with a 10-foot pole.
Yeah, that's a weird thing that I've been seeing. Like a lot of these platforms, like Epic Games is definitely making its play for the spotlight. I don't think anything really comes close to competing with Steam, but Epic Games obviously having Fortnite, Epic Games starting to have a lot of exclusive titles.
Yeah, I've been noticing
there was a
that
major
too.
one. There was a major one in the last couple of months.
There was
Borderlands
Borderlands
3.
for a
Yeah,
while.
I think that was pretty big. I don't think that's on Steam yet.
No,
Or it might be.
No, actually, Borderlands 3 is. Wait, let me check real fast.
It would, I don't know. It's this interesting play where like
No, it's
developers
on.
doing the. Okay,
They
it is
moved it
now.
on.
It is now. But I think that game, because that's been out since like.
A few months at least.
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
last year, like November or something. I
Well,
could
I've
could be
only
wrong.
really used I only used Epic Game Store when Fortnite first came out before it got way too big and it was filled with kids. And then I went back when they started doing free games. Like I haven't gotten all the free games, but I still have a decent library. I think Subnautica was one that was one of the best games. That's like Game of the Year 2019 for me, honestly.
Yeah, that is one thing they do really powerful. Like their free games are always like really good. Right now
Which
it's
one is
a Sherlock Holmes game and some game called Close to the Sun. Next week is Just Cause 4 and Wheels of something. Just Cause 4, that's a pretty recent title, right? Like
I mean, I've been missing a few of the titles, but I've been getting
Yes.
a lot of good games on there. Again, I never even touched the Epic Store. I haven't used it in a while, but I keep logging in because I'm a sucker for free stuff.
yeah.
Mhm.
See, what do I have in my library? I've got Kingdom Come Deliverance. For Honor was one.
Yeah, that was a good.
Subnautica.
Yeah.
Oh, I put so many
Um,
hours into For Honor. That was like my first.
They still
Nah,
do like
first-
really strange
first-
things. Like I don't know. I love. Sorry, I kind of talked over you there. Apologize, but I love playing like party games with like 8 people in a Discord or something. And there's this game I was following called like Totally Reliable Delivery Service. It's one of those like just like gravity games, like Pummel Party or something. And I was waiting for it. It was like $15. It was coming out, and then like it came out, and they're like, okay, it's free for the first 8 days. And I'm like, that is such a crazy play.
That's gnarly.
Yeah. Yeah. What else have we coming out just in terms of titles? I think 2020 was supposed to be a really big year. We saw some things like Cyberpunk got pushed to like the fall, right? Somewhere in
It
September or
was
something.
supposed to come out
It's supposed to come out in March, I
like
think.
late
right?
last year, and then it was supposed to be March, and they've been pushing it. But I know CD Projekt Red they've been doing this I think they started working on this game right after Witcher 3 released, and that was in 2015-ish.
Yeah.
So they've been. I mean,
Oh,
No,
did we just lose Carson?
possibly.
All
Well, I'll
right.
continue it from there.
We'll have to stall.
Yeah. Another example of a big game that came out was the Half-Life Alyx VR game that
That's
a lot
true.
of people fell in love with immediately. That game has brought about revolutionary concepts for VR games that are very cool. Like I watched it's funny. I watched Swagger Souls play the
course you did.
Half-Life game, and it was really. It seems like it has a really cool story, and the mechanics are cool, and the physics are fun.
Carson, do we have you back?
I've got a lot of fire trucks, paramedics going by, so I might be muted for a few more seconds.
That's all good. Your webcam's coming in and out, but yeah, to jump on that Half-Life Alex, right? Is that?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I had the number somewhere on my phone. Something, they Steam VR like peaked really, like I think it was over 1 million users or something when that came out, and
Oh wow.
something like that. And that's definitely the pattern with Half-Life releases. Maybe I'm not sure if you know all of them, but like the first one, that was the first one with like NPC. First Half-Life, that was like the first game with like NPCs or something.
Mhm.
And then I think Half-Life 2 introduced physics and gravity, the gravity gun, of course. And now
Yeah,
Half-Life 3, I think their big play was like they're trying to make VR this mainstream and affordable, like reliable thing. And I think they really hit it out of the park with that.
Yeah,
It's hard
they're
to make it
trying to
affordable. Oh, you can go.
Yeah, sorry. I was just gonna say that they're trying to make VR not look like this a luxury that only certain amount of gamers can access. They want to make it seem like it's just like any other AAA title that'll come out. Like, oh wow, that new VR game's coming out. Like we've been having a lot of cool VR games coming out that are bringing new concepts to the thing. Like Boneworks was a huge one because that one had a new had a really good physics in the game. Like I played it, and it was so cool. Everything was just so realistic.
That was from the guys over at Node, right? I think. Yeah,
that was
they did a great job with that one.
Node/Corridor Digital.
Yeah.
What were you saying, Carson? Sorry.
I mean, it's great that there's more VR stuff out, but I don't really think Valve is going for the whole. I mean, they do have support for all the other VR headsets, but the Valve Index, the entire kit with all the controllers and all the sensors and helmets, $1,000. That's a little absurd at some point.
Yeah.
Like I understand
because
it's
that is Index though.
Yeah, that's like the best of the best.
Like I used I tried out the Rift S. Like my roommate that I keep mentioning, he has the Rift S, and I've been playing Pavlov. I played Boneworks with it. I played some other VR games, and it's a lot. I think the Rift S is like $350, right? And all you need is a 1060 GTX 1060, right? That's not bad. I mean, I obviously don't have money like that to just spend, but if I saved up for it, I could get it. Like, it's something that people can get, Rift S.
Yeah, and I think Oculus has one that runs like without a PC as well. I think.
Yeah, that's the
Rift Go or something, or
no, the Quest.
Quest.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what it was.
Yeah.
The Quest was the one that doesn't need a PC. There's no wires at all.
Yeah, that's good. I think that's an interesting play because it's also, besides the price, it was that idea that I think I overstated or overestimated sometimes, was like that you have to have this like 6x6 room, like this, like you have to have a VR room. It felt like you're putting these cameras at the top of your ceiling and like move your bed out of the way. But I think they're getting better. You can just do standing and everything. But yeah, so we'll move on. I'll let Carson, I think you have some score updates, or you were going to talk about UMG Overwatch for us. But
yeah, so
sorry, real quick, I just want to acknowledge we've got some more people asking about your helmet, of course, and we have Mikey in the chat saying not that many people care about the Epic game releases, or they released their first mobile game apparently. But yeah, I feel that's true. Epic is doing these exclusives, but they're not they haven't grabbed anything that's like really pulling a crowd yet.
Well, also the Epic Game Store has very few, or not as many features as Steam. Like
it doesn't have that social feature, I think, is the big thing.
Well, I mean, Steam's been around for, 15 years since, I think they released it with Half-Life 2. So they've had almost 15 years to basically nearly perfect online game distribution. But it's also more than just games.
They also have features like the Greenlight program and the early access stuff that allow smaller developers to bring out their ideas to the community and see what the community thinks about it. Whereas the Epic Game Store, you're not going to find a small developer, like a small team of developers making a game and putting it on the Epic Store. They're going to put it on the Steam Store because that's what most people know.
Yeah, you'll find those indie companies, but I do like the Greenlight. I think there's a couple games. Boneworks was one of them that like you just follow that process so closely. They post, it's like a Kickstarter, but on this major platform.
Exactly.
Yeah, so you got score updates for us?
Yeah, so we've got, actually a fair bit of stuff. So currently, I think right now our active teams are Rocket League Black, CSGO Gold, Overwatch Black. Also, our 6 teams. So let's see.
Yeah.
Let's see. We've got R6 Black in the CEA Open versus MSSTB. They won 2-0 with 14-0, not even losing a single round. R6 Black.
Let's go Buffs.
Call it CR6 Phase 1, UT San Antonio Austin A-Team 2-0. R6 Gold was in CEA, tied 1-1 Bradley University. R6 Gold also.
That's a weird thing they do. They don't do overtime for CEA. They just do ties.
That's weird. And then St. Louis 2-0 win. Black Team CR6 Premier versus SUNY Kenton. That was a complete 14-0 sweep.
Yeah, Mikey's saying R6 Black he thinks is still undefeated in both of their leagues.
That is true.
I think so. Yeah,
good stuff, boys.
I think they went into CR6 being ranked top 4.
Yep.
Or something like that. Yeah. So
or was that CEA?
I think it was CRs. Either one of them. I know they finished in the quarterfinals, the quarterfinals of CR6.
No, you're right. It's CR6. My bad. Yeah, CR6. They seeded top 4, and it's been going that way.
So then we have CS:GO Gold. So we got NACCS Division 2 playoffs with a 2-1 win over Rogers State. We got CR6 Black. Let's see, in the CR6 Premier League, UDEM 15-10 win. Gold beat Maryville. That's actually. Does Maryville have a good R6 team at all?
They were okay.
It's weird because they've got like the best Overwatch team in the nation.
Really? Yeah. They still got things to improve on, but they can get better.
I'm pretty sure they only really have official support for League and Overwatch, because I feel like a lot of universities don't really want to fully support CS and R6 because of guns and bombs and whatnot.
Mm-hmm.
But because Maryville's Overwatch team, half their team are contenders players or former contenders players.
Oh wow!
So they basically swept like the TESPA Collegiate Series, and then they beat a bunch of academy teams in the Overwatch Contender Series, whatever it's called. So they're really good. They're also really good because they have this huge pool of talent, but still really good. So let's get back to our scores. CS:GO Gold, first loss of NACCS D2 playoffs against Florida Gulf Coast University. And then we have our league team actually had a small college league tournament.
Mm-hmm.
So they won one game. That was against Full Sail Armada. I think they lost another one to University of Texas at Dallas. So,
yeah,
unfortunate. Let's go, Buffs.
Yeah, it's great to see, and like I'm someone on the back end, kind of just doing the media stuff, but it's great to see that the teams are still playing. Like I remember, having to announce early on that like a lot of the leagues were getting canceled and like in-person meetings weren't happening. But it's great that you have so many updates and scores that they're still playing. They're still out there.
Well, that's the beauty of esports,
Absolutely.
If it
is
can't
kind
be
of
done
sad that
public, it can be done private.
It is kind of sad that TESPA canceled most of their leagues, but as we're going to get into shortly, there have been other outside organizations that have definitely stepped up. So we actually have UMG, who's just mostly known for smaller Call of Duty tournaments, actually started their Overwatch Collegiate Clash series, which is smaller 8-team tournaments every single week. And then the farther you go in these smaller 1-week tournaments, the more points you get, and then there's like a playoff system. So they've been doing that for 4 weeks. And they also started that for Rocket League. They did it for 1 week. And then did some sort of minor restructuring of it because there was a bit of a backlash from the college Rocket League community about how it was either a small pool of teams or some teams were out of the loop. I'm not entirely sure.
Yeah. UMG is actually a pretty decent-sized organizer.
Oh, they're really big. They actually last October merged with Torque Esports. Okay. And they're really big in the whole iRacing and all those other esports.
Didn't they? Didn't they host Keemstar's like Minecraft Mondays?
Yeah,
all
they
that
did
stuff?
that.
And those like obviously popped off on Twitch.
And their streams have been getting at least 1,000 viewers on average for Overwatch and Rocket League for college, which is really impressive.
It's great exposure for the teams too.
Yeah. So let's see. So for week 1, 2-0 versus Wichita State for the Overwatch Collegiate Clash, and then lost 1-3 versus Mississippi State. Then we have the Rocket League Collegiate Clash where they, 3-0 versus Wichita, and then they lost 1-3 versus University of North Texas. Week 2 of Overwatch Collegiate Clash by UMG. 2-0 versus Oklahoma University, and lost 0-3 versus UT Dallas. And then this last one was week 4, which was 2-0 versus Boise State, which I thought was a little bit surprising because I know that Boise State's been really big with Overwatch. I think they won, or actually they got second place for there was a Mountain West tournament a few months ago that was in Las Vegas. So they got second in that, and then CU lost 0-3 to University of Utah. which in the UMG Overwatch Collegiate Clash, they've gone 24-1 in all of their rounds that they've played. Like they had to sit out I think 1 or 2 weeks, but they have not lost a single. They lost 1 round out of 25 rounds. Never lost a series over 4 weeks. That's just absurd, honestly.
Yeah, that's quite a streak.
But they did get second place in the Overwatch TESPA series, which they did lose to Maryville.
Oh, that's why you're mentioning Maryville.
Yeah. Also, because you guys beat them in R6 a week or so ago. But yeah, Maryville. They've got more money than us, and a gaming space.
Eventually, we'll
get there. We'll get there.
Yes.
I'm just waiting for the glorious day that I get the announcement. Zing T has sponsored us, and it'll be great.
I mean, they already have sort of sponsored us. They sponsored one of the Stampedes or the Superior Smash Monthlies a while back.
That's great.
So
Well, I mean, also this.
Yeah. Are they a Colorado company or somewhat local or?
Well, Zing Tea, I think they're owned by New Age Beverage Company, and I think they're in Colorado. I'm not sure.
Gotcha.
I mean, I've never heard of Zing Tea until I came to Colorado.
Yeah, I know. You just
I found out about
that
Zing Tea
Farron
before I
market
came.
and you grab that mango or whatever flavor it is for you guys.
Oh my god, it's literally what happened to me.
Yeah, it's great stuff.
Went to the fair market with my friend, and he was like, "You should try this." I'm like, "What is it?" He's like, "Called Zing Tea. Try the mango flavor." I'm like, "All right, bet." And then I had it, and I was like, "Wow, this is fantastic." And then after that, I spent all my munch money on Zing Tea.
Yeah, I remember my first, I think it was my first 2 weeks of freshman year. They didn't have the swipe limits or anything, so I had the bigger plan.
They never had swipe limits? That's what you'd like.
My freshman, you know how they do now you can only do, what is it, 4 meal
4
equivalents today for I think it was the first month or something of my freshman year, which was 2017. They didn't have that, and then quickly there's just signs everywhere. I don't know if something changed or whatever that year with their supplier, but I remember we would go on, we knew it reset, what was it, Wednesday nights or Thursday mornings.
Yeah,
so
it's Wednesday night.
Wednesday's night there would be a line all the way to the back of Farron Market, and everyone would have just trays full of Zing Teas and animal crackers and those Rice Krispie treats and everything, and I just we'd fill mini fridges with them. Yeah, Zing Tea all the way.
In the Willville market, I would just go in after I've had lunch. I'm like, "Oh guys, just give me a sec. I just want to get some Zing Tea." And you're like, "Oh, you're doing that?" I'm like, "Yeah." And then I'd come out with 6 cans of Zing Tea, and then I'd go upstairs to my room and put them all in my mini fridge that's already filled with the Zing Tea.
Yeah, I kind of felt like smuggling, because on any given Wednesday afternoon there would be half a case of Zing Tea just filled in my backpack, and I'd be like, I'm on a mission to get this back to my mini fridge, and then I'm going inside for the next 24 hours. I don't even know.
Well, the BuffCast is not sponsored by Zing Tea or New Age Beverages,
Not
but
yet.
we are open to the idea.
We're absolutely open.
I will sell my soul for Zing Tea or other New Age beverage products for basically nothing at this point.
We'll put that logo right there, center chest, right on this t-shirt. We'll get it in there. Of the Zing Tea score shout out and everything, or whatever sponsorship reaches out.
Yo,
I don't
Zing
think
Tea,
we can-
get me a Crusader helmet, another helmet, but put Zing Tea right here.
Could we just make a helmet out of a massive Zing Tea can or something?
Ooh,
I
that'd be
actually like
cool,
that
actually.
idea a lot more. Can I just have a helmet made out of Zing Tea cans?
Probably be kind of light actually, because
It would be very light.
Yeah.
I mean, it's kind of heavy. It's also hard to breathe.
All right. We're going off the Zing Tea deep end here. What else we've got here from today?
I think that's just about pretty much everything.
About
I mean,
it for
we
the
could talk about-
minicast.
That wasn't very many. That actually kind of went the normal length, I think.
Yeah, that actually went.
Yeah, we're almost at an hour, so actually,
Oh wow.
it's not too many. But yeah, good stuff. It's good to see General Dumpling had said, it's just good to see whether it's esports player playing the games at home or us able to do this podcast remotely. It's great that we have the technology to do these things and keep them running.
Oh yeah, and it's really nice to see how things are going now since everything is shutting down. For example, how Discord is offering bigger chat rooms so that teachers can teach or something like that, or organizations can still use instead of using Zoom or something like that isn't. ready for it. That's actually something I wanted to talk about real fast. The Zoom bombing.
Yeah.
Like all the
that
Zoom
happened
classes.
to me. Yeah.
Did it actually happen to you?
Mm-hmm. You guys familiar with Too Mad, the YouTuber?
No.
Yeah. Anyways, he joined one of my calls, and he does this whole he was wearing like African traditional clothing. He did the whole Wakanda Forever thing. He was banging on a drum, screaming at my teacher, and then just was on his way. But yeah, it's an interesting thing. It came to the point that what was it? The FBI put out like a notice about it, right?
Really?
I don't know if you guys saw that. They put out a notice about Zoom bombing. I feel like it's far less. At least in my educational view, it's far less serious of a topic, because no one's hacking into Zoom. People are DMing the codes. People are DMing their favorite creators the codes. I mean, exactly. I know Zoom has its own insecurity issues with their databases or whatever, and leaking information, but in those cases, I think they're harmless. They kind of interrupt your day, but it's not like Zoom is just this open, platform.
Well, for a few of my classes, I need to log with my Colorado EDU email, which is kind of a pain.
Yeah.
And then some passwords, but you can leak the passwords. It hasn't happened to me.
No, I've seen on multiple occasions in other Discords, just in the general chat, someone's like, "Hey guys, I have my Zoom class in a couple minutes. Really don't want to do it. Here's the code. I need 5 people to join," and then it would work and it would happen, and that's what would. It's just the students getting bored of the Zoom classes and they're leaking out all the passwords, which isn't good, obviously, but it's not the teacher's fault.
Yeah, I guess it's 2020's version of pulling the fire alarm or something like that.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It's funny for the first time and the second time, but the third time is really pushing it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well.
Yes.
I think the one thing we forgot to mention is that we actually are recruiting right now for our CU Valorant team.
Yes.
Yeah.
We probably should have mentioned that earlier, but Anbox has their spring rally later this month, and we're forming a team to compete in that. I think it's $2,000 worth of pricing, but considering how the game technically isn't even out yet, and we're just forming a team, that's a great way. I don't know. Josh, one of our GMs, is talking about how this might be bringing people from a bunch of different esports together, like Overwatch, CS, R6, even a league maybe.
Yeah, it definitely brings in a lot of different backgrounds. I have just pure aim from CS:GO, but I don't have any of the Overwatch understanding of when to use utilities and whatnot. So I'm definitely excited to see who Valorant brings out. And yeah, I think Valorant is definitely a great game. They're putting out 128 tick servers. Riot is really communicating well. So if you're just an esports player, whether you got really good at Faceit and CS or really high Q in Overwatch, whatever it is, I think Valorant is definitely a great team. So if you're a CU student, I would definitely give it a shot. Try out for that team.
100%. I mean, I even want to try out for it. I'm already on a team, but I really want to do it because Valorant's just so much fun to play.
Well, if you're a CU student and your academics are in quote-unquote good standing, you can definitely sign up. There are going to be tryouts this Friday and Saturday. So we really recommend that because, I don't know, more things for our teams to compete in, more stuff for me to tweet about. The only other caveat is it's not the final roster for fall. This roster will definitely not be final. There's definitely potential for shakeups, and with enough interests, most likely a black and a gold team be competing. There was news that Riot said that they're going to be a little bit less strict on their esports structure. So there's going to be small, medium, and then large tournaments. So they're totally okay with outside organizations hosting small and medium tournaments. Because supposedly with League, it's a lot more restricted with their League Championship Series. Again, I'm not super big into League, but this is definitely good.
Yeah, and that's just something I hope they highlight too, because I think what was it, the COD League, they have obviously their main teams and all their franchises, but at every one of those COD leagues there was amateur games there was no stream or media about them whatsoever besides those individual teams media.
So they had the regular COD League matches.
They would have the group stage of the COD League, say Chicago Huntsmen versus Atlanta FaZe, and then in that same weekend there would be what's the word for it? Not group stage, like when it's just kind of like a mosh pit bracket of the amateur team, but there was no press for it whatsoever. So I do hope Riot definitely acknowledges those smaller teams, and I think they're definitely in a place where it sounds like they will. Mm-hmm.
And have bigger people go there.
Yeah, and I'm like, being the CS player, I'm not a League player, I'm not familiar with Riot's communication, but I think in the past with League, Riot does a pretty good job of acknowledging like collegiate teams and stuff, right? They have they have like a whole university program or something?
Yeah, they have the college LOL. I heard it was pretty good, but it was a Swiss tournament for. They had 6 weeks of games, and then it was supposed to go into a playoffs for each division or region. Like Boulder was in the Western region or division, and they played. I think they went 5-1. But it was weird how there really was no seeding and it was all random. But then as the weeks went on, the seeding kind of evolved into where it should be. It was really weird. I don't think anyone really liked a Swiss style sort of bracket tournament system.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah,
but
I mean,
that would have been fun to watch if college LOL didn't get. Like I understood the whole. Suspended for a month or so, but I feel like once everyone's settled, they should have had a plan to kind of, get like, oh, we're going to start up and we're going to compete in a bit. I know TESPA has canceled everything for the remainder of the semester, but they did say if anything changes that they'll give 2 weeks notice.
Okay.
But,
yeah.
Well, that's good at least.
Well, either way, there's
some sort of notice before they make any major decisions like that.
Maybe CSL is going. I don't know. We didn't have many teams competing in CSL this semester. But I think they're still going. I'm not entirely sure. But for the most part, there's still other organizations going. UMG, NACCS, probably CSL. Again, I've just been busy with classes and everything else.
Yeah. Feel you there. Yeah.
Plenty of other things.
Well, so much for a mini cast. I guess episode 3 was full blown. We're over the hour now, and I think we did a pretty good job here.
A full episode.
Yeah, good stuff. All right. Do we want to take it out? Unless you guys have anything else you want to touch on?
I think that's it. I mean, there is the Andbox Spring Rally voting that goes until tomorrow.
True. Yeah. Why don't you plug that real quick? Because
you can find vote. Well, we've pinned a tweet on our Twitter page. You should just go there and vote for us. Top 16 teams get invited for an online tournament. Currently, right now, we are 10th out of all the other teams, so that's pretty good. Still have another day to do that. Go vote for us.
Yeah.
Are you talking about the Overwatch League?
Yeah, but they're also doing.
It's very easy.
Thank you.
You should vote.
You can vote. I don't know if this is allowed or not, but you can vote using Facebook, Twitch, Twitter, and Google. You can also do. They have this AimLab thing. I tried it out. It doesn't look very good, but if you just use a referral code and just play a training course, we get an extra vote. So that is it's UC Bold 2020. Again, I don't know why they made it like that, but you can find all that information.
I checked, they were I think 10 or 11, and there's 32.
Yeah, so just go. It's a pinned tweet on our Twitter page. If it's no longer there, it's probably over, but go vote for us. One of the best Overwatch teams in the nation. We got to show it off. So
let's get it up there. Let's go Buffs. All right.
Let's go Buffs.
Sweet. Thanks for tuning in, guys.
Thank you.
Check me out on General Dumpling on TikTok at 50K. I do a face reveal.
Yeah, do ya? We got people in the chat asking for that, so maybe BuffCast episode 4. Uh-oh. Let's try it. Perhaps. All right. We're going to switch it over to the ending scene now. Goodbye, guys. Take it easy.